In here.
Yes, ma'am.
She knew of my fame as a country singer and as one of the South's favorite daughters. I thought, well, get that blonde-headed, big-titted girl. You know, get the one that everybody seems to like. We'll do well in the South if we got Dolly Parton.
So you were a distribution deal.
So I was. But it's like, and I'd never done a movie. I'd never even seen a movie made. But I thought, you know, she's right, because I know how to be myself. So that's what I told them. I said, look, I'm not an actress. I've never taken an acting lesson in my life. But if this is a part that's true to who I am, that I can relate to that, and it's a situation, and it was, and it turned out just great. Oh, by the way, I got a surprise for you here.
Mrs. Rhodes, I am a married man.
Forget about your wife, Frank. I mean, you may be hers in the evening, but you're my boy from 9 to 5. Here, I wanted to show you what I got for you. Isn't that pretty?
Yes, it's pretty. It's very pretty, but you shouldn't be buying gifts for me, Mrs. Rhodes.
Okay, let me put it on you here. Oh, that wasn't so bad, was it?
My son, when he was about 7 at the time, and when he first came on the set and met her, he turned bright red. You know, she's a sort of a miracle of nature, and that's kind of how I felt when it was like, wow, I was fascinated by this self-created creature.
I don't think Jane had planned for me to write the song. That was not part of the deal. I just wrote the song, and I presented it, and they loved it. I mean, if she asked me to write the song, I don't remember that. I just remember, like, clicking my nails on the set, you know, when we were, because I have these acrylic nails that sound like a typewriter to me, and it was about the secretary, so I'd do, every day, I'd write a little bit more, like, tumble out of bed, and I stumble to the kitchen, pour myself a cup of ambition, and yawn and stretch and try to come to life. Jump in the shower and the blood starts pumping. Out on the streets, the traffic starts jumping. Folks like me on the job from 9 to 5.
When she was recording it, she brought every woman from the movie to do the chorus. Every secretary, the hairdressers, the costumers, everyone was there.
For service and devotion, you would think that I would deserve a fair promotion. Want to move ahead, but the boss won't seem to let me. I swear sometimes that burning out to get me.
She invited me to Tennessee. I stayed at her house, met her husband Carl, and then we set out on a tour through the mountains. All the places that she knew, back to places where you can't go unless you're with somebody that knows somebody. Towards the end of the trip, a lot of the people that we met were people like her. And she got a group of these people together, and they started playing, and she sang Coat of Many Colors. Well, when you had gotten to know her, as I had over the months that we spent making the movie, and then you see her people and the life in the mountains, suddenly the song takes on a whole new richness. I tend to be emotional anyway, but I cried.
Some of the songs you say are autobiographical. When you have Coat of Many Colors, your mother makes you a coat out of rags. She goes to school and all the kids laugh at her and say, this is a load of rags, really. Was it as bad as that for you?
Yes, it was. We were very poor, and like you said, the little ragged coat she made for me, she knew it was rags. She knew they'd make fun of me. I'm sure she did. But she made me proud of it, because she made it especially for me, told me the story about Joseph and how his daddy had made him the special coat. So I couldn't wait to go to school, but when I got to school, they laughed at me and made fun. It broke my heart, and I was angry at Mama. You know, at that time, as a little child, it's like I thought she had lied to me. So I took a sad, hard time and turned it into a beautiful song. It became a big hit. No, I couldn't understand that, because I thought I was rich. And then I told him of the love my mama sewed in every stitch. And then I told him all the story that Mama told me while she sewed, and why my coat of many colors was worth more than all their clothes. They didn't understand it, and I tried to make them see. One is only poor, only if you choose to
described as a trailblazer for female country music. What were the women singers like? How are they regarded when you started off?
Well, they were beginning to kind of come into their own, but still most of them were pretty well ruled by some male figure like Kitty Wells.
When she would have been about 5 or 6, Kitty Wells would have evolved into a superstar. And Kitty sang honky-tonk songs, but sang them from a very strongly female perspective. And the women would go wild when Kitty would sing.
Was one of the first ones, even though her husband, Charlie, had managed her and had worked with her for years and years, and but she still was kind of a rebel. I got a feeling oh Lord, since my daddy said goodbye. I don't know what I'm gonna do. All I do is sit and cry. Oh Lord,
Patsy Cline was more of a heart singer and more of a singer's singer, and I think Dolly recognized early on she didn't have the pipes for that. A lot of the women in her time had to sing men's songs unless they wrote them themselves. And that's why you get a revolution happening when people like Dolly come on the scene, because she wrote her own material.
Jolene, Jolene, I'm begging of you, please don't take my man. Jolene, 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 please don't take him just because you can. Your beauty is beyond compare, with flaming locks of auburn hair, with ivory skin and eyes of emerald green. Your smile is like a breath of spring, your voice is soft like summer rain, and I cannot compete with you, Jolene. Oh, he talks about you in his sleep, and there's nothing I can do to keep from crying when he calls your name, Jolene. Oh, and I can easily understand how you could easily take my name, but you don't know what he means to me, Jolene.
I wonder if you think there's been a change in the way you address, have a take on, consider a subject. Let's just take a song like Jolene, which is a great yearning song. And it's a sort of helpless song in a way. This woman is in a condition to do nothing if the other woman doesn't go away. So she's just totally helpless. And then you got You Ain't Worth the Salt in My Tears, 2 or 3 decades on, just saying, I can handle you and I can get rid of you, and I mean, it's a very long way from Jolene, isn't it? Do you think you've changed and you're writing a tougher, different sort of song?
Well, back when I was writing the songs like Jolene, I was young. I was experiencing all these feelings for the first time. Now I've experienced them over and over again. I think that in Salt in My Tears, it does totally talk about how I've tried and I tried for so long to please you, and I gave you my heart and my soul, and you broke it all apart. And it's just, but then after all this time, I realize you ain't worth the salt in my tears. So it's not so different from Jolene. I don't think emotions ever change that much. I think, though, that when you live as long as I have, you just kind of realize that a broken heart won't kill you, and you have a different take on what it really means. It makes you wiser in a different way.
It's me.